She is raging about the failure of Star Wars Outlaws, and I don't understand why, because most of the complaints about the series is that they took this beautiful model and changed her into this abomination that you see on the screen right now. Crazy. I guess that's misogynistic to actually just want her to look like the real person who's nice to look at. It's kind of ridiculous. But the gameplay is bad. We know this all the way around. We've seen the AI failures across the internet. There's been plenty of just tepid reviews on this. And even the mainstream has kind of admitted that Star Wars Outlaws is not that great. They really want to shill for it, but they just can't. Ubisoft produced a game which was subpar, even though they spent a lot on it. Now, like we're seeing in TV with Star Wars and all that, of course, the actress here is now playing victim, doing the exact same thing that Amanda Stenberg is doing with the Acolyte. It's like they have one playbook at this point, and it's kind of crazy to see this from a voice actress or at least a model. I guess she's not even a voice actress for a game. It's sad to watch, but I kind of saw this coming a while back. I saw a lot of people, like, when they would comment on her X feed, that they would get, blocked by her after saying, "Hey, you're so much better looking than the actual game ended up being." It's like, they were complimenting her and she'd block them right away. This is a person who's just crazy, and this is who they hire. They hire the people like this intentionally because that's what identity politics is. That's what DEI is. It's a giant victim grift. And that's what we have going on here again. Yay. All right, my name is John Delarose, everybody. Please hit the like and subscribe button. We talk all things Star Wars, all things science fiction. And, of course, I have my wonderful science fiction Star Wars replacement series, which is the Terran Imperium Chronicles and The Hidden Emperor on Kickstarter right now. Grab this book today. Support a wonderful alternative. As I said, this has a great storyline, lots of fun, good character development, everything that Star Wars Outlaws does not have. We went and did it right. Beautiful art and a beautiful character, too. So please check this out. It is in the description below. Support our channel, and I appreciate you guys. Of course, this is our most successful campaign so far. It's all because of you. I appreciate the fans. Unlike these people, they don't appreciate gamers, and that is kind of why a lot of these games are failing. When you just kind of target your customers and call your customers problems over and over and over again, you end up having a problem. And this is the entire video game industry, at least the mainstream, with these AAA games. We don't really see it with his indies as much. Some of them do. But you could tell like that the indies actually care about the customers a little bit more as they're trying to get established. I feel like it's that way in fiction and comics too. I always, I'm pretty involved in the comic book industry, obviously. The people who work for Marvel and DC, the mainstream, are a lot more aggressive towards customers, a lot more insular, a lot more of jerks in general. And the people who are independent, even if they're like extreme left people, I've seen just have been super nice because they don't care. They just, they want to get their comics out to the world. And it just seems to be the way these things go. Corporations evoke entitlement at this point. You see it with Disney Star Wars, you see it with this, and all these actresses have the same victim game over and over and over again. So Humberlyn Gonzalez, the actress who portrays Kay Vess in Star Wars Outlaws, says the video game industry has a lot of misogyny, while praising Ubisoft and Massive Entertainment for ensuring the only character in the game is female. Now, in the normal world, that is called misandry, Humberly. When you don't want a male character, when you don't want a male around, you don't want the male, and you're angry at men, that's called misandry. And that seems to be what you're guilty of here as you're lashing out as what's going on. In an interview with CGM in the middle of August, the Outlaws' Dana Eileen asked, "So our nerdy fandoms, especially things like Star Wars, present a very male-dominated, whether that's the creative team or the fans. What it's like to lead the charge in this as both a creative team and a voice in the body of Star Wars Outlaws." Oh, I guess she is the voice actress as well for Star Wars Outlaws. To lead this male-dominated universe and have it be women first right now. This is something that is really obnoxious. And these are men's interest properties for the most part. And I've noticed the entire trend to take away in culture and all this is to make it so there are no men's interests. They make Barbie movie. They champion female interests. They make Bridgerton. It's a champion female interests exist, make a lot of money. They have their things. And then there's the men's interest that exists separate but equal. It's a really nice thing. It's what a good concept. And with that, they just can't let them exist. They just have to sneak their hands into everything. It has to be a woman-only dominated thing. You see this with Kathleen Kennedy running Star Wars into the ground. Then, her acolyte, Leslie Headland, who is also Harvey Weinstein's acolyte, then putting this female-led cast in there, making sure there's no white males really in the cast except for the one Jedi who off themselves. And of course, since the demographic who likes this kind of stuff is white males, and same with Star Wars Outlaws, they tune out, and then they blame white males for being the problem. Well, it's like, well, you had a property that was geared towards white males, and if it's okay to have a property that's geared towards women or other minorities, if that's okay, it's also okay to have a property that's geared towards white males. There's nothing wrong with that in theory, but they have to not allow it to happen. It always reminds me, I live in actually the San Francisco area, believe it or not. And of course, all the weird gender bathrooms and crap started hitting here all the time. And I noticed even in the government buildings, it's not that they added a third bathroom, because they weren't going to add that expense, because it costs a lot to build a bathroom. They just left the women's restroom as the women's restroom, and then they made the men's room all gender, and then they changed it. It's like, oh, so the men don't get our own space. We have to share it with the weirdos in dresses pretending not to be men, and then the women get their own space. I guess the weirdos in dresses go in there too, but it's labeled in a way that just tries to cut out men, and that's exactly what the video game industry is doing with this game. That's exactly what DEI is all about. And then they're complaining when it doesn't work. That somehow we're supposed to love it, we're supposed to take it. Well, you know what, Humberly, screw you. I mean, my gosh, you are an entitled, spoiled brat, and that's all that's coming here. Yes, to be a leading woman, not just in a Star Wars story, but the video game industry, which also tends to have a lot of limitations and misogyny and kind of an in-and-out politics of who can be a part of it and who you want to play as. I'm incredibly proud of the team for having chosen someone like me, but also only me, that there isn't a male counterpart in the story of Star Wars Outlaws, that we're focusing on a female point of view and a scoundrel story, because we've only really ever seen males in the scoundrel position. Well, that's false also, but hey, it is also something that's absolutely crazy. And if you look at this, she clearly just hates men. Well, that's great. We're not going to play your game. That's fine. We'll go play another game. They always do this. They're like, it's not for you, right? And we see this with the Minecraft movie. Kotaku just put out an article this morning saying that you're not the target demographic. And it's like, okay, fine. I won't go watch that crappy movie. Fine, I won't go play Star Wars Outlaws. But the thing is, you can't win. There's no winning this game, because the game in their minds is it's not for you. But if you don't play it, you're still a bigot. So no matter what, you're a bad person. And that's exactly what this is. And this is what it's man hate. It is misandry, just like I was saying earlier in the video. Next, she's shared, so the representation is incredible for me as an immigrant Latina in Canada, oh God, to even get to speak about my country, about Venezuela. Yeah, it's a shithole, lady. About what it means to me as an artist. That's why you live in Canada now. That I followed this dream, not having any of my family here, not having a lot of mentors in my family or anyone to look up to or content to look up to. Aw, you have no content to look up to? Everything's geared towards women. Every freaking TV show, every movie at this point is geared towards women, and you know it. Jeez. Even in Star Wars, there aren't a lot of Latinas in this space. Oh, jeez. Shut up. Shut up, victim. And so for me, I knew this was going to mean a lot, not just for me and my community and my family, but to everybody else who's watching it too and playing it. Oh, please clap. Well, nobody's playing it. It's going very poorly, as we know. People are not loving this. And of course, the next generation, those little girls in Galaxy's Edge, the little girls watching. Yes, they don't have anything else. They don't have My Little Pony. They don't have Barbie. They need Star Wars because they have nothing. They're just left out of society. Oh, it's so terrible. I can't even get through this because it's just so insufferable every single time when they play the victim in this sort of deal. You can tell what this is about. It's about lashing out because the game's failing, because it's, one, a poor game. It's designed poorly. It's ugly to look at. And Ubisoft just took the lazy route in all of this and demanded that you play it and actually put a premium price on it because it's one of those games that just cost a ton to develop. What are they doing? Who are these people that are getting paid so much in these games? That's the real question. How much did this woman get paid to play victim and cry about this stuff and not even have her likeness used, as they just completely butchered it? My gosh. All right, it's just another one of these unhinged rants. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit the like and subscribe button, and definitely check out the Hidden Emperor graphic novel, guys. You're going to love this series, and you're going to love everything that's going to come from the Terran Imperium Chronicles all the way around. I want everybody to be able to enjoy this, and thank you so much for the support so far.